land a crazy record. Drake and Future, Life is Good. Um, we need the story behind this. Like, how did it all start from like when you made the sample to hearing about the record? Like, what's the breakdown?
Well, it was kind of a crazy story because I had that sample in the stash for I'd say like 1.5 years before it came out. Because like the time period between me sending that sample and OZ using it and then the song coming out was like a couple months. So it was pretty fresh when it came out. But I had the loop in the stash for a while, but there was always something about it that kind of gave me a special feeling. I remember like it was in summer 2018 and I was just grinding late night right here. And I was just cooking up that idea and I felt really good about it. You know, I took my time. Usually I'm kind of impatient with things, but there I was really like making sure everything's straight. And then yeah, but for some reason it never really stuck with anyone. You know, I sent it out a couple times, didn't really hear anything back from it. And then I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to put that in the pack because you know usually you would always send your most recent work because that's usually what the best work is, especially if you're like you know in the beginning stages and you progress and you learn really fast. But yeah, I have made the connection with OZ sometime like 2019 I think, and then I was just sending him stuff, and then in one of those packs, I put that melody in, and then I think like in November, um, yeah, sometime November, I think 2019, he told me to hold it, and I didn't really knew what was going on or who it was or if something was ever gonna happen, and then I remember I was telling you the story some time ago, but I listened to like a snippet, like a story post from Future, and it had been reposted on Twitter, and it was like teasing. At that time, it was like "What a Time to Be Alive" 2 coming soon, and like Drake Future, they made these chains, like it was like an owl and the bird,
Mm.
the eagle, I think, and then he was just filming himself and being, and it was like a 5 second snippet of a song, and I remember like thinking to myself like, "Yo, this is crazy." Like, I've been a huge fan of "What a Time to Be Alive." Like, it's a staple in my in my music library. But I remember just thinking like that's a legendary link up, and whoever produced that is, you know, really blessed because that's a major comeback. Like it's just great. Two of my favorite artists. And I was like listening back to it, and for some reason I didn't recognize my sample in the beginning, but like the second or third time was like I was like, hold up, this kind of sounds familiar. And the reason I didn't, you know, recognize it in the beginning was because it was pitched up so much, like 9 semitones. So it was like real, like a lot higher than how I knew it. And then I figured out though, like I was making sure I was going back into the sample, you know, pushing it up myself. I was like comparing it. I was like, okay, this is it. And I was freaking out, bro. I was like, I was, I couldn't explain to you like how happy I felt, like a ton of emotions, just everything going through my head, and I was just like, wow, this is insane. And then from that point, you know, things kind of happened really quickly. I think OZ hit me up like a week before it dropped and was like, yo, it's a Drake and Future single, and with the video I saw it, it's crazy. And then I was just gonna wait until the song dropped, really like just nervous as hell, couldn't sleep and everything. Like, and then when it came out, it just did what it did.
That's nuts. So you gotta tell us like what is release day like? Where are you? Like, how does it feel when you load up that video or listen to the song for the first time?
Well, I was here at home, just you know, regular week really. Just at that time I was just really locked in on the music thing, just working my ass off, and I did I didn't tell anyone. That's the crazy part. I didn't like I generally don't like to jinx it, you know, and tell people if I don't have to, you know. And at that point I didn't even have management or, you know, just my attorney. And yeah, I didn't really tell anyone. And then it came out because I had to listen to it first, you know, to the full song and actually believe it was real.
Mm,
And yeah, I waited until it was out. I couldn't sleep. I woke up like put my alarm at 6 a.m. I woke up before that. You know, I was like counting down the last couple minutes, and then in my bed I was just, you know, listening to the song, heard the melody, and I was like, okay, it's a wrap now. I was just super happy. I told my family, told my friends. They were like, because it came out of the blue, they couldn't believe it. Like they thought I was
mm,
trolling it in the beginning. You know, they thought I was fully joking. But yeah, once it settled in, you know, as the day progresses, like a lot of people were hitting me up even before I posted my little Instagram post,
mm.
because they obviously like saw the credits somewhere, maybe Genius or something, and then congratulated me and everything. And it was just like, you know, a lot of messages and notifications, just a bunch of people hitting me up. But it was a great feeling. Like sometimes I need, you know, with those type of things, I kind of usually need a couple days to fully take the situation in, you know, because I really can't think straight. So I was kind of like just on a permanent high for like 2 3 days, and then it kind of settled down, and I was like kind of realizing what had happened, you know.
I can imagine. But so, you know, when you first heard the record, were you a little bit nervous when Drake's part came in and you thought, you know what, this doesn't quite sound like my sample?
No, I wasn't, because actually like the sample is structured a specific way. I put this little bass line in there, and you know, I immediately recognized the sample. And then when the bass line came in before, I think that's when Drake starts rapping without the drums. That was like, okay, that's too hard to emulate. Like it's exactly how it sounds pitched up, because remember I was trying it and comparing
Mm,
it. So I was sure that it was the sample. And that from that point I was like, okay, I made it. Like because before, like you can't really imagine, especially if you didn't have a song that big, you can't like, you know, all types of stuff happen in this industry. Can't really be sure until you listen to it, you know, until it's out, really. Even if you have paperwork. Some people say until you have paperwork, that's usually a good sign, but my paperwork came after. So
mm.
I had to kind of wait. I wasn't sure until the song really dropped.
That's crazy. What were the biggest things you noticed after that record then? Because it was it was a huge record, like one of the biggest, if not the biggest of the year. So, how do things change?
Well, it definitely brought attention to me as a music producer a lot, you know, and from all sides, whether that be creative, you know, producers and artists and writers wanting to work, but also on the business side, you know, management companies hitting me up, A&Rs from labels, you know, hitting me up wanting to talk about publishing situations and stuff, because I didn't really I had my attorney who was writing with me for I think like 1 or 2 years at that point. Shout out to him. And then, but I didn't have any other representation. So, and no deal at that time. So obviously, like because I guess I was hot and had that big song, people were trying to, you know, get in contact with me, and for like it was just a lot, you know, to handle at the same time, because me being me, I was like, let me talk to everyone I can talk to, you know, just me from my German networking background. I was just like, let me
Mm,
just talk to as many people I can talk to and figure out the best way to play this. And it was definitely a lot, you know. I was getting flown out to LA, to London. I was in Berlin, like all in a time span of like a month, and just, you know, meeting a lot of people. And yeah, and it definitely helped me. I signed an admin deal with Sony shortly after, like a couple months after. I signed with the Rebels Group as management, so it definitely set me up for a good future, and you know, a good couple like upcoming years.
what does it do motivation wise? Because does it give you kind of that extra kick after you, like, even when you heard the snippet, to know, you know what, if I keep working, this could grow even more and more. Does it kind of help in that regard?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think a big cut or like a good song with like, you know, your favorite artist, um, especially if you're trying to work towards that, is like a great validation. And you know, it feels good and it definitely motivates you to keep going. What you like, you definitely need to keep going too, because after that the pressure is on. You need to prove yourself and make sure that you kind of continue that wave and make the most out of it. But I'd say, yeah, it's definitely like a motivational boost, but also like a confidence boost, you know, because you might be the most fire producer in the world, like a lot of people, or rapper or artist, a lot of people won't really notice you until either you get a cosign or you land a bigger song, you know. That's kind of like, I noticed, you know, it's really superficial, and a lot of people will judge you by your catalog, and obviously a song like that really helps.